My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa.
As I say, dick.
Welcome to episode 111 of the Allegiance podcast. Little mid-season break last week, but we're back. We're back and we're ready to go again. Recovered from the Beyithirr campaign, the complete Mythic and Legions overload everywhere. But we're ready to see what comes next, I think, yeah. So, how are you doing, Rich? Good form?
I'm not doing too bad, thank you. Back from a week's holiday last week, so that was nice.
Yeah.
I was up in North Wales and there wasn't a cloud in the sky for 6 days, which is basically unheard of up there.
Wow.
I mean, it was cold, don't get me wrong, it was like, 12, 13 degrees, but yeah, got out on the beach every day for walks and that sort of stuff. It was a really lovely time up there.
I think there was a little bit of a kind of a good high pressure spell or something over the whole of Europe, because we had great weather here. My mum said they had great weather, so in Ireland. So yeah, lucky. Well, we're paying for it now because it's being rain for the next 3 or 4 days here. So
it is, but I'm working now, so I don't care. Bollocks to everybody who's got time off.
And did you pay for your week off when you got back to work as usual? You know, sometimes it's more hassle than it's worth.
Normally it wouldn't be a problem, but this time it was just a shit show. None of which I can talk about on this, but it was, oh my God. It was one of those, like Monday was just like,
you think you're on a hidden camera show or something, is it?
Yeah, basically. It was like, I mean, I was off for a week, came back to like 120, 130 emails, almost all of which were like high priority. And it was just like, you are kidding me. And everybody else who I need to speak to is on leave because it's the Easter week this week. So everybody else has buggered off and it's, just mayhem.
Oh,
Never mind.
I'm sure
only one more day. Then
listeners can relate. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what pays for the figures.
Yeah, basically.
It does, yeah.
And Mal, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm one of those people who's broken up for Easter already. I took an extra day. Just why not? It's going to be a little while until I've got any more time off. So yeah.
And are you surviving the rat infestation in Birmingham? Or
I my area isn't too bad.
No,
well, it's not bad at all. Yeah, it's not really suffering. Our bins are being picked up regularly. It's the recycling they've stopped for us.
okay.
Although, curiously, the council tax still went up, despite the fact that they've actually reduced the services we're receiving.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's such a big story that even I heard about it over here. Like, because I think Birmingham is the biggest council in Europe by size, by population.
It's the other side of Birmingham that's suffering really.
Oh, that's suffering the worst. Yeah. I heard something really interesting where the lower, well, I'd say lower class, but the people from more working class areas, they all got together and kind of did their kind of cleanup. The people from the rich areas just paid a private company to do it. And it's all the people in the middle that are kind of struggling with the problem. So it's a kind of a metaphor for life almost. Although fair play to those people that just, came out in their community and did it themselves, which they shouldn't have to, of course. But yeah, so basically there's a big bin, is it a bin collection strike in Birmingham? Because technicalities to do with
it's pay. Because I mean, without going into too much detail, basically the job doesn't get done without them doing overtime.
Yeah.
And they got told they were going to get their overtime taken off them. So what do people in the free world do is they strike when they're not happy with the.
Well, I hope it's just off because that's a pretty smelly problem to have.
Yeah, council
could be you next, Rich.
That's for fact.
Bristol.
Oh no, we're good. Bristol hippies. They're peaceniks. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, anything like that.
Good. And what about this fish tank I heard you have?
Yes, so the new tank was meant to go up last Saturday. And I got home from North Wales on Friday, looked in the tank, and one of the fish had a bit of a disease. So once I stopped swearing, I treated the tank for said issue, and that's fine now, sort of thing. So Friday I'm off work on Friday because it's Good Friday, got bank holiday here. So that's when the big swap over from a 70 litre tank to a 200 litre tank. takes place. So I built the stand earlier on today. It took me about 3 hours, an hour and a half of which was just trying to get the doors to line up properly. The language in my head at that point was really quite severe. My wife, bless her, came in and made a joke about it taking ages. And I was like, I know you're trying to be funny, but this is not the time. She's like, okay, I'll just go then. But it's done now. It's done now. So that's one job out of the way.
So you didn't take my advice on the fish issue? The disease?
No, I didn't murder it, John. As sage advice as that was, no. And to be honest, if I thought it was just that one hadn't spread, it might have happened, but I couldn't take the risk. So, yeah.
So no fishies have been harmed?
They haven't. No. Although the shrimps in the tank, bless them, are doing the best to wind me up now. So I put this most fish treatments are like poisonous to shrimps. I just kill your shrimp. But there are a handful that are fine. So I had this medicine anyway, and I'd Google searched it ages at the time, and this is like one of only 2 that treats that thing and isn't poisonous to the shrimps. So great, put it in. No shrimps passed out immediately. Great, okay. Got daughter ready for bed, all that sort of stuff. It's like, that's fine. Went back downstairs, and the shrimps were just charging around the tank, almost like in a circle around the tank. And I'm like, oh God, they're in pain, they're in agony, they're going to die. It's like, I can't do anything. It's like, it's already too late if there's an issue. So I just turned the tank lights off. And the next morning, got up, all fine. They were playing a game of tag or something like that. Little bastards.
They just turn them into metalheads momentarily.
Yeah, they just wind me up. I've never seen them do that. So I've had them 2 years.
Maybe it was shrimp cocaine. That was
maybe. And then yesterday I turned the temperature down on the tank a little bit. Because when you do the tank changeover, temperatures drop and so it's best to be a little bit lower so that they don't get a shock. And walked into the living room today, and there was a shrimp carcass on the floor of the tank. And I'm like, you are kidding me. And it was just a shed. So they really are. 2 of them are both shed. They're exoskeletons. Yeah. So they are just basically, they're hazing me now. Wow. It's like just taunted by shrimps.
And what size are the shrimps relative to the fish then in a kind of a fish tank?
Similar sort of size. So the shrimp, they're both about 4 centimeters. So that's 1.5 inches for our American listeners. So not massive sort of things, but big enough they won't get eaten.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so big change on Friday. It should take me about all day because I'm slow at these sort of things. But my wife was laughing at me because I got a full list of 33 bullets, I think, of the order I need to do everything.
In an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, and I'll print it out and then just mark it off as I go through each thing sort of thing. So
what a nerd.
Absolute nerd, yes.
Well, we did get some fun feedback actually from our last episode. You remember the last one? It's a couple of weeks ago now with the worst characters ever.
Oh yeah, yes. Hand puppets.
Yeah. We got Kirby Smith. He said Mr. Fibble is very cross indeed.
Red Dwarf.
1-6 shooter. So Trevor said Corgi Atherblade is a must.
I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Brian C said he was taking notes. So
good man, Brian.
That's we did shout him out to do 1 or 2 of the and then he said I guess he typed that comment and then he replied to his own comment saying I don't know how to feel about my name coming up, and then you immediately begin to talk about a sentient poo.
I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty positive that was Mal's fault.
I think it was a compliment. We were saying that he could make it look cool, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. So that's fun. Sometimes those type of episodes generate some cool comments. So
yeah, no, I like
that's always fun. Yeah.
We even got a little voicemail from Curtis, didn't we, as well, explaining how the show went.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. What did he say? Rich suggests a rock that doesn't move, has got no facial features, but is sentient. Mal's like, no. Oh, that's a great idea. That was pretty much the episode.
Yeah. All right.
We got a new listener last week as well.
Oh, did we?
It might be a one and done episode, but my massage therapist. I've been talking to him about the show, and he's like, I turned one on at random. He said, just have a listen. He's like, I listened to the whole thing. It's like, good man.
Cool. What's his
He's not
name?
going to start collecting. His name's Adam. So thank you, Adam, for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah. Shout outs are free.
Yep, absolutely.
Just give Rich an extra punch the next time you have him on the table.
That.
He's a bit more gentle with me this week. So I saw him on Monday, sort of thing, and I can move. So that was better than last time where I was.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's pretty amazing. Yeah, and any customizing, Mal? You did a cool little snowman I saw. Or you're starting?
I've started. I've just got to do his limbs now. I don't have a picture of him to hand, or well, I do actually.
No, that's okay. We can describe him. Go back to our reads.
Yeah.
Just describe.
So I've done sort of what you'd hope to do, sort of bit of blue shading, mostly white, carrot nose. There is more colour in the nose.
You put a little bit of texture on him.
I did. I've done it previously with like doing an ice sword for my Santa. I bought some of that Valhalla Blizzard, which I know Curtis actually took a look at on his show. And I'd bought it before that, funnily enough, literally like the same week he bought it up on there.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
had
cool.
to play with it. Yeah. And I decided I didn't want it to be super flat and smooth. So I thought, well, I'll add a bit of that on it. And I think it's worked really well on the head because the silhouette of the head's looking like it's a bit icy, a bit frosty. The body, it's a bit like flocking, but not that thick.
Approved.
Yeah. I like it though. I like the way he's coming out. I can't wait to sort of show him off properly. But
that's cool.
There's a bit of Dremel inner joints going to come in this weekend. So,
yeah. I did a dwarf custom.
Yes, very cool as well.
I need to look up who the head is from. I don't know if you guys know who it is offhand, but it's got a mohawk and a kind of a beard with a load of plaits in it and a ponytail with a plait at the back. He's cool, and just did a dwarf build with that skirt piece from Duban. And it looks a bit like the similar color to the Cavern Dwarf, but it's actually full repaint. I kind of tried to do more brassy bronze that kind of has a little bit more depth than the Cavern Dwarf. So I think it looks cool in person. The photos, and a cool torso. A cool torso from Sebadon as well. I got a dwarf torso for him. It's kind of a wider one. With a little bit of chainmail on the top, and
I should probably say the head and torso of mine are from Planetary Dog Toys. The head is the snowman head they did, and I think the torso is one that's now discontinued, or they're discontinuing this month.
I think the snowman is discontinued as well. Yeah, so don't drop it.
Yeah. I've got its blue tacked in the display cabinet ready for the arms.
Yeah, I've brought them to Legion's Con to sell, and I also tape a little bit of bubble wrap around the carrot nose before I put it in a bubble wrap baggie.
Yeah.
That seems to do the trick. And we had Andy Spinks who has done us a deal for the Toylanta figure.
Yes.
We got him coming. Did yours arrive yet?
They're with Brett, who will be forwarding a parcel of stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mine is. I was hoping to have mine today, but didn't turn up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, my pile of loot is winging its way to Brett, and then once that arrives, that'll be shipped over. So not too long. Yeah.
I did actually
processing through facility in Luxembourg like the last 2 days. Anyway, sorry, man.
No, it's all right. I was going to say I did actually today get my Stavros and Graveyard Skeletons from Big Bad. Literally turned up today. I've not opened them or anything. This, been a busy one today. So,
cool, Stavros. Yeah,
John, that dwarf head is by Matt Customs and sold at Wolf King.
There you go. Yeah, Wolf King. Okay, so look for a Mohawk dwarf at Wolf King. You'll find it. It's cool. I did post it in my Insta story and in the dwarf group on the Cabal, Kings Under the Mountain. So if you like dwarfs, go join there. It's an awesome place for dwarf content. All right. Let's talk about a few things that's going on then. I guess we need to catch up on Beyithirr. Yeah. He got funded out the door. We didn't have the full results the last time we talked. It was just the weekend before the weekend. So final numbers: Beyithirr the dragon 4,962. So pretty successful. Fiery breath 4,035 and epic wings 2,924. So about 3.7 million in sales. So good on the horseman. And that means everything is unlocked. So we got everything, including this guy. The Beyithirr's Fury. So we only had the silhouette of him on the last episode. And this is where stuff seems... it seems like you miss an episode or you miss a week for an episode, and it seems like a lot of time has gone past.
Yeah, and a lot happens.
So we haven't really talked too much about him. First of all, on the campaign, Mal, I guess I was the only one that thought it would go over 4,000. Not to not to brag, but it's interesting. I mean, because of course I was definitely not sure, but I went for it because you guys said no.
Had I known Big Bad was going to buy 1,000 of them, I would have upped my my total.
That's interesting. Yeah, Big Bad seems to have bought some in the campaign and putting them up for sale.
Well,
so
didn't I say when they put what's his name's glory? What's he called? Benegar. So Benegar, when he became available, when they hit, wasn't my text to you? Big Bad has entered the chat.
Yes, right. I remember that now. Yeah.
So I wonder if that's when they'd ordered and they didn't include it in the total. So I wonder if they've actually sold even more than the 4,900, or that's it including. I wouldn't be surprised if it surpassed the 4,000 without the Big Bad orders. And they've included them later.
Yeah, and it's not just Big Bad. I've seen at least one other small toy store going, I've ordered 5, I think they were saying, sort of thing, to sell and that sort of stuff. So
yes, if you do see them at retailer, they're retailers that seem to have bought them in the campaign. That's what I understand. I doubt the horseman will come out and confirm, but other than the horseman saying there wasn't really a retailer or like a wholesale price for this. The wholesale price was kind of what we paid. So 800 Big Bad are charging for the dragon and 250 for the sets. So you still got a big deal. And you have to put down a deposit in Big Bad. Is it 20% or something like
20% deposit, $160, yeah.
And there's a mysterious tariff, which they don't know what the tariff will be, but you may be charged a tariff when it arrives. Okay, it's a year and a half, 2 years down the road. So who knows? Because they're changing by the hour. So, or at least they were at some point. So you could be paying 0 on top of that, or you could be paying 10%. Who knows? So
they'll be gone completely or virtually nothing in a year and a half's time.
Hopefully.
Because this lunacy will have stopped.
Okay,
hopefully.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
No, they definitely will. They've had to row back on everything so far because it's a terrible, terrible idea that will just put the prices up for Americans who won't get hardly any extra jobs in America. It's if tariffing everybody to get stuff brought back home worked, every country in the world would do it. And there's a reason every country in the world doesn't do it, because it doesn't work.
I think,
and the last time the US did it plunged them deeper into the depression.
Yeah, into depression.
I mean, you could say it's a long-term policy, but I think it needs to be done with a bit more subtlety than a kind of hammer and a chisel. Or as it is, maybe it's more like a cannon, I think. I'm going with here. If they picked certain things and kind of, instead of just everything, because of course stuff like toys and stuff should be probably at the back of the queue because it's going to be much longer. If you were in the ideal thing of like, okay, we do want to bring it home and that's feasible, still only like 10 years down the road feasible, really. And you kind of have to reduce the pain as you go along. So yeah, the way it's been done, doesn't seem to be helping anyone. So fingers crossed that all gets resolved. Not really our domain. So
no, not to worry for us, thankfully. But,
it'll have other.
Our toys are going to go up as well because where we get them from.
It depends if they get shipped straight to Europe or not.
That's true.
There might be a bit of that. The market is not big enough, you see. So it's a tricky one. Anyway, Beyithirr's...
I'm not sure if I told you guys, I almost gave in and went for the Fiery Breath set too. Almost. I messaged Brett and said, is your offer to pick it up in New Jersey and I can collect it at the following Legion's Con? And he was like, yeah. And I hummed and hard and eventually I didn't. But it was close. Just to put it coming out the wall sort of thing. Just get a little diode built and just it bursting through a castle wall or something like that. Which I thought was a really cool idea. And then it was like, I can't spend $150.
Well, Big Bad has them now.
Cool diode. Yeah, for $250. No.
They're 50.
I tell you what. I don't think that'll be too hard to pick up at say something like a Legion's Con in maybe 3 years' time. So I think you're probably if you were humming it, if you were really on the fence, better to just leave it.
If it had been close enough for me to go for it, I'd have gone for it. So no, I'm happy with my decision.
Yeah, you can spend £300 or whatever on fish instead.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean it's not a cheap hobby. So
let me ask you, if, for example, your lovely wife said, "Oh, I just went out and got some fish and chips," and you were sitting in front of the fish tank, what's the morally right thing to do there? Is it to take it into the kitchen and?
No, God, no! I couldn't care less.
I'm
not a big fish eater though. Literally, the only fish I'll eat was cod. So that's fish and chips obviously is fine. Yeah.
I like pizza hut.
But no, that wouldn't bother me in the slightest. White bait, I'd have an issue with. They're similar size to the fish I keep. But when it's something big, then no problem with that at all.
Okay.
Having said that, I mean, I've talked for years about getting a micro pig as a pet. And Kerry's just been like, no, don't be stupid. No. But if I did, I wouldn't stop eating bacon because I love bacon and I love sausages. So
they would know. They would be terrified of you because they would know that was bacon.
Yeah.
I was also going to call him Mr. Scratchings. So that's, quite intimidating as a name as well.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Let's call you something after you get cooked too long.
I saw, I think it was a show or something the other day. It was like a clip that came up on the internet. And they had a pig. They had a pet pig. And they named it Chris P. Bacon.
That's just cruel.
That's just like, cruel. That's mean.
That is mean. Right. Here's all the stuff we got if you got all in. So I went for Fiery Breath and the Dragon. I think I mentioned it last week. Mal has gone for everything. So he will be getting all this plus obviously the extra heads and stuff for him. But there is it's a full wave of a small wave of figures. Remember, was a Siege at Bjorngar was 5 figures, Wasteland the same. So plus you get Dragon on top. So
well,
actually,
it works out. It's worked out for me roughly. I think before shipping, before taxes that will be added on. When we get it, it's £700 to £800, and that for that much stuff, it's pretty good.
It's not the end of the world, is it at all?
Mm.
And so if I had the display space, I'd have got on the Dragon, but
size of the Dragon.
We had a great idea actually. We have in the sitting room we have a fireplace, and it's one of these kind of more modern fireplaces that has like a glass kind of thing that you slide up and down. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's not like an open fireplace. It can be open if you slide the thing up. But since my wife was pregnant, she had this thing where she couldn't, certain smells really got to her, and it never went away after the kids were born. So we lit a fire there maybe 10 years ago, and she was like, I can't manage this. So we haven't used it since. So we're going to clean the whole thing out and clean the kind of glass thing and stick the Dragon in there. It's about big enough for the Dragon.
Nice.
Just leave it open. So then you can have the Fiery Breath in the fireplace.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I like that.
So she goes, oh, well, like, and I said, don't worry, you've 2 years. We've 2 years to clean it. Don't worry. So, so it's not. We'll never use it, I guess. So why not?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So, which figure are you most looking forward to hearing, Mal? Then
I think
Dragon excluded,
the Dragon, obviously. Yeah, I think Sebenegar. Now we've got all his gear, and Jeremy, well, there was a on the Cabal. There was a discussion about his sword, and obviously it's just painted here. But Jeremy did pop in and say it's translucent. So if they make that sword translucent, that'll be awesome. I'd love that. But yeah, Sabenegar, definitely. I think he's a really cool looking figure.
He's cool, and he's got I think you can see it on this one here. He's got the little dragon, silver dragon in the front of his helmet.
Yeah. Oh well, so, I love the horns sticking into his helmet. That helmet's cool. Just everything about him's awesome.
And I think obviously him. My other shout would be the fiery knight.
That would definitely be my second one after
He's
him.
Spectacularly cool. Yeah, just so unique in the line. I think he's super cool, and that he came with the fiery breath is perfect. I think. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that was part of the reason that almost lured me in. It was just like, oh, you could have a figure on fire there as well.
Yeah. I do think, like, as much as I think Sir Benegar is probably the best figure here, if I didn't back it and I had a chance of getting a figure, I'd probably choose the fiery guy at this point in time. But yeah, I don't know. It would be tough to say no to Sir Benegar as well, given we won't get that helmet ever again and stuff like that. So, and of course he's loaded. Beyithirr's Furies, we didn't really talk about him. What's your impression, Mal, of him?
He's all right. He's pretty cool.
You're not a knight guy per se.
No, well, that's it. That is kind of part of it. He's very much a knight, and so as I've said with like the Necronominous wave, the soft goods on the knights have made them cooler to me and more impressive to me, and enjoy them more. So he's sort of going back to more the traditional knight. The bit I'm a bit unsure of, but I'm sure it'll look amazing when he arrives, as it so often does, is the mixes of greens on him. There's a lot of different greens, which feels a bit jarring to me. But I'm sure it'll look fantastic when he shows up.
So the green on the shield here is different to the green on the armor.
That's it. Yeah, it's different to the green on the armor, and then the chainmail's another green, and it looks like the neck's another green. So it's a bit odd to me, but I mean, otherwise he's all right. Yeah, he's cool. When you see him next to Sir Benegar, it looks really good. I like the story element of the mask, the metal mask they wear. That's the story of him is really cool.
Yeah,
or them, because it's a army builder, really, isn't it? So.
Yeah, but I think what we'll do next, we'll talk a bit this week about the future of where we're going with legions. But I think next week we'll look into the factions of Beyithirr and the new one, the sect of Azarius.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
that'd be fun.
You can practice your bios between now and then. Now.
Yeah, I will do. I've got a weekend.
And Rich, although you're not getting him, what do you think of Beyithirr's Fury?
He's okay. If he was available, I'd buy him, obviously, because I buy knights. I like knights. The metal mask with chainmail doesn't look as good as I thought it would, I have to admit. Maybe it's because the green is different. Maybe that's what's thrown me, sort of thing. In principle, I really like it as an idea. I just don't like how it looks at the moment. But overall, I mean, it's a good figure, and it's free if you bought the dragon. So the people that are moaning saying it's a legion builder or they've reused parts, it's like, it's literally free. Shut up.
Yeah, it's definitely not a legion builder. Like, okay, it's an unnamed character kind of thing, but I suppose Vorgus Vermilius in the end is just a suit of armor. So
yeah,
you could say that about him. And this is not a legion builder level in terms of what you get.
Oh, so far beyond that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's lots of paint tabs. What I will say is it looks a bit more rushed than the Sir Benegar. The paint is it lacks a bit of subtlety for me, and which I think through the factory that might be cleaned up. But I do think that it looks a bit You see there, like the detail on the collar. Could be the photo as well, but the detail on the collar and the wings is a bit washed out by the green paint there, for example. But that could be. And the helmet, the cross on the helmet.
The one thing I really like is the fact they redid the boss on the shield.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. And just having it in that gold rather than the green, that's a great part to add with it. I really like that.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can have two different shield setups basically there.
2 different helmet setups as well, really. Comes with the horns and the wings. So.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, there is.
And if you want a Doctor Doom homage, then you've got it there with the chainmail and the metal mask.
That's how I'll be displaying him with that, definitely, because as I say, I like the story they've given that, and So.
To be honest, I haven't even read the story. I didn't even know there was because I sort of checked out. I'm not getting the.
Next week you'll find out.
There we go. I can hear it in Mal's dulcet tones for the first time. That'd be amazing.
Dull tones.
Dull, he said. Yeah, on the close-ups of the chainmail heads, there is a bit of blue around the face here, kind of around the nose and mouth. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's just under the lights it came around that way.
John, don't be saying that.
What?
Whenever I mention blue and lighting, you tell me off.
No, it's not like blue from the lights. It's that the lights are so strong that maybe the paint kind of shows what's underneath it, and it's a prototype that could happen. But it's on all the masks, so it must be on purpose. There must be some reason for it. So, okay. So, all in all, a great campaign. There was, as we mentioned previously, there was a 24-hour kind of marathon live stream thing with all the different channels that weren't us on YouTube. And at the end, there was a Legion's Lounge with Just Shove It. And they gave away 4 dragons. Went a bit crazy at the end, but people were super chatting for hundreds of dollars and stuff. So
incredibly generous of.
Go back and watch that if you want to see it. It was crazy, and so congrats to all those involved in that. That was a great little thing to get it over the line, and seemed to have helped.
And just great fun, I would imagine, for people that did it. So.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Although. Curtis going 24 hours without sleep, I can't imagine that was fun.
Oh, did he do it? I should have guessed he'd do it all.
He did it all, yeah.
Can't do that.
That's bonkers
these days.
Yeah. No, I really can't.
If I was lying in my bed, I couldn't do the 24 hours.
Well, I'm watching WrestleMania this coming weekend. That's 2 nights, and that'll be from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. over here, and I'm dreading that. So,
yeah, the NFL draft last year was 11 p.m. here till 4 or 5 a.m. And I did that 2 nights, and it killed me. So the draft is next week, and it's a Thursday. It's like, nope, I'm just going to have to miss the first round. I can't do that, and then have to work the next day. It's too old.
Yeah, just switch your phone off and you'll be surprised by it the next morning. Oh. They also put out a statement on the tariffs. So they said the situation with the tariffs is changing. This is about Beyithirr. It's changing rapidly. It's not scheduled until later in 2026. It's any guess what the tariffs will be at that time. What we can tell you is that we have no intention of charging customers additional fees once these items are produced and ready to ship. So they're basically saying that that's their problem in a way. And hopefully this helps to clear up some concerns on Beyithirr and how the current tariffs will impact those who choose to back the campaign. So this was put out before the funding. So I guess that reassured people. And as you can see, retailers like Big Bad are choosing a slightly different course, so which I understand too.
It must be so difficult at the moment.
But yeah, I think it's up to manufacturers like the Horseman to build it into their prices, and retailers when it's uncertain and they're getting shipping stuff direct from China, I guess they have to protect their business a bit. And the big bad thing is they let you cancel. They give you like a notice, and you can cancel your order if you don't agree with paying the extra. So.
You can, but you've lost your $160 non-refundable deposit.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it says non-refundable.
Yeah, but maybe in that scenario.
Also, the Horsemen have been.
Print.
I mean, if the tariffs stay 145%, there's no way the Horsemen can put this out without asking for more money because it'll bankrupt them.
Yeah.
So they've been very clever with the wording here. Not trying to avoid anything or anything like that, but they've given themselves that option to say, well, actually, we do need to add some on, but you can cancel. This would be my guess, you know. If we're going to have to charge you another $200, you can cancel before we start making it.
Just don't think they can, you know. Now, like, but what about All-Star 6? That arrives in the port, say, hypothetically tomorrow. And if that wave was, I don't know, say Beyithirr, what's 3.7 million? Say that wave, they had to pay 2 million to the factory to get all those figures, thousands of figures. Does that mean they have to pay 2 million in import tariffs?
3 million at the current price thing.
So that just doesn't work, does it?
No.
So,
although I did read a report earlier today that someone had posted saying, although they've put all these tariffs in place, they haven't actually put anything in place to collect it at the ports. So apparently at the moment, all the stock's just been waved through as normal. No tariffs are being collected on anything.
Okay, but are you sure that an invoice isn't going to arrive, you know? I get my stuff delivered from FedEx and then they send me an invoice a month later. Now, maybe if the invoice was for 2 million quid, they wouldn't deliver the stuff yet.
But you've got, I mean, if they haven't even got the infrastructure in place at the ports to start billing for it, it's not just taking names and numbers. It's we've got to recruit people. We've got to do the sums.
Would you say to
I don't think
to your company in China tomorrow morning, put it on the water? Or would you say, no, hold it?
No, hold it at the moment. Absolutely.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Because whatever they pay in storage over there is going to be a damn sight less than them having to pay a tariff. Yeah,
and it's the uncertainty of it as well, you know? I mean, okay, 100 and whatever % is not going to work for anybody. But if it was 10% or whatever, I don't know if China has slightly different, but you just take the kind of default 10%. That's money. It's a lot of money, but it's certain you can budget for it. You know what's going to happen. But if it's going up and down like the stock market, it's not going to work for a business, is it? Just off mute, and he smashes his mic. Love it.
I haven't done that for ages. It was due on. I haven't done that for a long time.
True. I need to go back and listen to the back, and I've edited most of them out, but I'm sure I missed some. This one here is pretty cool. So this is some of the Rising Suns figures. Actually, the beasts, pretty much, are the animals.
Yep. Not a barbarian in sight. God bless him.
Test shots of Regerian, Beyithirr, and Umbra. So the Horsemen posted this on their socials. These are test shot figures, part of our approval process, where they do the troubleshooting and stuff with them. Our expectations at this time that these figures will be ready, and the rest of the wave will be ready later this year. And they'll obviously post updates as they get closer to completion and arrival. So, I mean, the bear looks pretty much done, no? I mean, there might be some small tweaks they make, but
I'm not sure whether they need to do stuff around the neck, maybe. At the moment, it does look a little strange. Now, that might be the best they can do. But
maybe tighten it up a little bit. Sit a bit lower or a little bit more flush. Yeah. But standing up.
I know.
That's cool though, doesn't it?
So good.
And that
so
horse,
good.
That horse looks like a little goat or something beside it. That's a full size Legion's horse.
With
how the unicorn head.
Yeah, how cool does that unicorn head look? When I saw that, I was like, that actually looks even better than I thought it was going to look. So yeah.
I really want them to use that in Cosmic, some sort of a rainbowy unicorn alien.
There's always a chance.
No?
Please don't, Four Horsemen.
Why?
We don't need a rainbow unicorn in Cosmic. Dear God, no.
What if it's... Oh no, Swiftwind's not a unicorn, is
What
it?
if it's got a sock puppet on its hooves?
That'd be fine. I'd be all in that.
Or even on the top of the unicorn horn.
It's on its horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, especially on the horse, you see the parts that are in that kind of beige color. They seem to be the new tooled parts.
Yeah.
And the same on Rigurian over here. I mean, obviously the head is painted, but we got the belt piece. That all seems to be new. Bits hanging from the belt. Would they be from the heads pack maybe that we're going to get with All-Star 6? Would that go? I haven't seen them before.
Something like that, or something. No, wasn't it that they were big enough to fit on like things like the heads pack or like I can't remember. There was something said about that though, wasn't there?
But yeah, it looks cool. I can see on the floor in the background here, Mal, on the right, there's cosmic stuff.
Oh yeah. It looks like it's.
There's some crates there. Look behind the horsey.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
Looks like that new spacesuit. One of those figures. So there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for that wave, but I'm excited for all the stuff before that too. So, but great to get little sneak peeks.
It's going to be a big year, isn't it, with All-Star 6 arriving in the not too distant future, and then both Cosmic Waves, and then they're talking about getting Rising Suns out as well. That's a lot of stuff to get in 1 year.
Yeah, so it's why that little problem we were talking about before hopefully resolves to some extent.
Yeah.
So, what about this? The map. Mal, do you want to read what they posted?
Well, I'll read it. Okay.
Yeah.
For a decade now, what we've known as Mythos was based on the map that Nate drew, showing a castle of 4 sides in the centre of a continent with 4 heroic kingdoms of light: Leandor, Xylernia, Etheros, and Ophidian around it. But we have only seen a small piece of the world of Mythic Legions so far. Our fans and our story's characters have been unaware that beyond the shores of this great continent, a larger and stranger world was waiting to be explored. We teased this world with the expanded map view shown here. Currently, those new lands are dark and unfocused, but as we enter our next big story arc for Mythic Legions, these lands will begin to come to focus as we meet new characters, new creatures, new factions, new races, and new locations in this expanded world of Mythos. Stay tuned. We're just getting started with the story of Mythic Legions.
Holy smokes. Just getting started.
Just started.
200 odd figures.
Stuff like this makes me so excited. It's just like, yes! They're expanding everything.
Yeah.
Look at the map there in the middle is what we know. That kind of bit. And all the other places are bigger, nearly.
Yeah.
Pieces of land.
Yeah.
So,
What I would say
mention the ocean.
is that the seafarers of Mythos should be ashamed of themselves if they haven't found any of those continents, because they're not that far away.
Yeah, that's true. So, what do we think is coming next? So we had obviously Ashes of Egbendor kind of told us a little bit of where we are, and we had the Legion, the G-Con wave, with Basilia and all those guys.
Yeah, I'm presuming we're not going to get an Ashes of Egbendor equivalent this year, just because the Dragon's pretty much taken all that money, hasn't it? It's the same price as that a big wave would have been. So I presume they're going to ease off people a little bit and not do that.
So you think the next thing is a Figura Obscura and Naden?
Figura Obscura. Yeah.
So
maybe another
according
smaller cosmic wave and then Legion's Con, I reckon.
According to our friend Kevin Boots, the second weekend in May has been the last couple of years for the Figura. So that's something to look out for if they stay on track for that. So, but I think because they posted this, they are going to do an interim wave.
Yeah, it seems funny that they would just post this randomly if it's not going to lead to something more.
I think it's an
less.
interim wave.
Maybe.
I was just going to say, sorry, Mal. I was going to say, the thing with the interim wave, they reuse the parts a lot, don't they? Whereas if this is talking about new races and new that and the other, they can't just do one full of reused parts because it's like, well, it's the same.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, so maybe it is just because all the Legions Con stuff has started up. They just wanted to remind people of where we're going with Legions Con, because it could be that this leads to the story of the wave that we're getting at Legions Con, couldn't it? So, yeah. Well, it does. We know it does because Jeremy hinted that it did last year. So,
yeah, I think we get some figures though, man. In the next couple of months.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's either cosmic or mythic. So,
oh yeah, we're definitely getting some wave of something in the next few months. So definitely. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's more like an Ashes of Agbendor wave, and this is more in reference to Legions Con. I don't know. We'll find out.
Unless they're really sneaky and people in the First Great War or whatever somehow got transported to one of the other continents. So you've got characters from the First Great War going, and they landed here, and their descendants or wherever. So you could reuse the sort of mythos parts, as it were.
Well, we do have characters from faraway lands, don't we? We have Zende, is it?
Zende.
Isn't Rhaegor
the barbarian guy as well? Yeah, Rhaegor. Yeah, it's from a different land.
Could build out the snake troops here, Rich.
See, I'm trying not to say that because I don't want to curse it, but yes, more snakes. Lots and lots more snakes.
It feels like, though, that was sort of being suggested as like the origins of mythos, though, wasn't it? The snakes but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I do think that we'll get something. It'll be some reuse, but maybe some parts that they have already tooled, along with the other stuff.
This is the thing.
Ahead, so they wouldn't. They have such an extensive library now. They wouldn't need too much. Maybe a couple of heads, maybe a couple of small things to change, like belts or little pieces that kind of attach to the shoulder to give a different look.
And they still got lots in
stuff like that.
And they still got lots of parts, haven't they, that they've previewed in like Rising Suns or Reign of the Beast that they haven't actually produced. So technically, you still haven't got them. It is a new part. You just don't have it in hand yet.
But it would be reuse, and we wouldn't necessarily see it as reuse yet because we haven't got the parts in. So,
funnily enough, I do get this feeling that some of the new stuff we're going to get is going to be more Asian-inspired in armor, and that a lot more of that going on. Yeah.
And then, if you think of what Figura Obscura stuff they haven't reused, that could all come into it.
And if they were to do one of Monkey's companions, that would give you more Asian armor potentially, and then you've got the tooling done for that, so that could then be used.
Jesse Arnold, they were talking about on the Cabal. What do you think for the next Figura Obscura? And he said Cuchulainn, which is an Irish legend. He's the guy that slayed the dog with the stick.
Okay.
And the like a stone, whatever. So he that would be a cool one. Then you get your big kind of wolf. Well, he slayed as a wolf, not a dog. You know me and dogs, Rich.
I know. If we're getting a wolf, it better be Red Riding Hood and the wolf. Never mind Cuchulainn.
That would be cool.
I think that's more likely. That's got probably a wider appeal, let's be honest.
A wolf, a wolf on the Windage, the cackler body, so we're getting that werewolf kind of look. That would be cool.
I don't think they've sculpted that, though, have they?
The big cloak.
No, probably not.
Yeah, that's true. But what other...
I'd like them to do Sobek if they're going to do an Egyptian god again. The crocodile god.
Crocodile.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that as the next one. So,
or
the I can't remember the god's name, but it's the bird. It's like a hornbill. Can't remember the god's name, but that again would be a really cool one as well, sort of thing. And get people there. People have been craving birds, haven't they? And there's lots to talk about. get Aetheron, or they say they're going to get Aetheron back, but there's lots to talk about birds as well, so that could be a good way to get some of that in.
Yeah, we could be getting, maybe that's the next announcement, Otto and the like. I mean, what to come after Dragon is Otto, maybe.
Because they were suggesting that would be a 2-figure wave or a small wave, weren't they? A very small wave.
Oh, what if Aetheron got banished to one of the other continents? That's where he disappeared at the end of the First Great Age. So you go, here's Aetheron 2.0, and he's on the continent of Sandacia, looking at that sand-coloured one on the screen there.
There you go, Forrest. You can have that one for free.
Yeah, have that one, no problem at all. I'm not copyrighting that.
Does that sandy thing look like a bunny?
Yeah, now you've said it, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like the
head like a sand castle. It's like sticking up.
I'm curious. What? I mean, you can't see where my mouse is, but on the bottom left corner, on the bottom of that island, there's like little white. It might just be snow, but it's funny that they're in a streaks like that.
Mm. When the map was lightened up a lot, all across, I'm pointing at the screen as well, you can't see me do it either, but all across the top above the snowy part of Mythos was all ice and snow.
Yeah.
Almost as if there was a whole sort of thing around all the other continents again.
Well, this is not a flat Earth, I guess,
No.
Is it on the back of a turtle in space? That's
Do you know what? It's geeky, but what I'm looking forward to almost more than the figures is how they're going to retcon the lore around this. Because at the moment, the lore doesn't make any sense at all in terms of Mythos being a continent rather than a wider thing. And Jeremy and Eric are really good at it, so they'll do a great job of it. But I'm so excited for the lore almost more than the figures. It's like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Tell me. How are you going to make this work? That there's 2 gods, but they only did a continent and they weren't bothered about the rest of the planet and that sort of thing. It's like, tell me.
Well, maybe they're not actually gods. They were just perceived as gods.
Yeah.
Aliens.
So we're pretty sure that Legion's Con is going to be some sort of seafaring people, creatures, whatever.
Yeah, Jeremy dropped a massive hint, didn't he, about set sail? Yeah. The top of my list is shark folk. It's like, we need shark folk.
I think it's probably going to be more realistic than shark folk, but who knows?
Well, somebody said pirates, and Jeremy's response was, pirates and Mythos aren't anything like what we regard as pirates and what pirates look like.
That doesn't mean they're not going to be it. He's just warning people they're not going to get the pirates they think they're going to get.
Oh, yeah. So that's what I mean. So, a shark pirate, for instance, a crab pirate, a squid pirate.
Just dressed up as knights.
Yeah, all the pirates in Mythos wear chainmail and heavy armor. Are you sure you're not just trying to reuse parts? Conan was a sailor as well, wasn't he? That was one of the things he did. He was a pirate as well.
No, what I have to say is that Dwarf 2-pack's coming. Why not start reusing those parts?
Yes.
Yep.
More little thighs, the better.
Coming shortly after Rising Suns or whatever. Maybe smaller waves.
A whole continent of dwarves would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or, hear me out here, do a smaller thigh, gnomes. So you have big bulky torsos using the dwarf bits and then just smaller thighs. And you got gnomes.
Or, if you're going to the icier parts here, maybe something like the equivalent of Inuits, or would have called Eskimos, that type of
I mean, that's a bit boring, John. I'd suggest seal warriors, yetis, that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you want to do boring, then yes, let's get some Inuits in.
Yeah.
No insulting to any Inuit listeners we may have.
Yeah. Rich calls Inuits boring. There you go. Yeah, sorry, my imagination doesn't stretch as far as yours, so yeah. But it just shows exciting times. I can't wait for
much potential.
All that stuff to come up. And we also got this little teaser.
I've just thought one more thing actually for the bigger map.
Yeah,
the recent tariff thing with the herd in Marshall Islands and the penguins getting tariffed. Maybe we have penguin warriors. Just storming beaches of Mythos.
I would absolutely love penguin warriors.
That would be cool. I think I'd prefer them in Cosmic though, because you could give them like little bombs and stuff and little armor. You know, I don't know about medieval style penguins. I think I'd prefer, tech warrior penguins. Legion's Con, November 8th to 9th, 2025, but it's not really November 8th to 9th. It's more like November 6th to 10th.
Yeah, as a minimum.
If you're going to do it. So, yeah, because what we
or
could
like
say
October
is
the 27th or whatever, the Purple Gang are going on.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. If you want to be on the Purple Gang show the week before Legion's Con, then yeah, you need to go to New Jersey then. So if it follows the usual course, it would be November 6th for Intern, November 7th for G-Con, and then 8th and 9th is the show where there's all the tables. You can buy your stuff, you can buy your figures, probably a drop like the Ninian, a special drop possibly again. Also, the Legion's Con exclusives, which I'm sure they'll do.
The legendary barbarian we already know will be there.
Yeah, he'll be there as well. That's right, yeah. So if they'll do something on top of him, yeah, he's a cool figure, Rich. You're going to need those parts.
They will do something on top.
I've already arranged that someone can pick me one up, and I'd actually seen buying one, so I'm good.
We'll catch you, don't worry.
Yeah.
Crinkling the box as you're trying to sneak it in your bag.
I'm going to be coming home with a bunch of them if I can.
So we're all booked up from the 5th to the 10th, I think it is, the Wednesday. Flying on the Wednesday, flying back on the 10th. Hopefully we won't have any trouble at the border. Hearing more and more horror stories, so fingers crossed. Going to take the chance anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I've nothing to hide. I've never done anything remotely other than vanilla in my life. So
yeah, no, that's it.
So, but you never know. I've just heard stories. I guess my biggest. Sorry, Rich. Yeah.
No, you got your fringe, John. That's one.
Yeah, I guess my biggest fear is they'd be just giving us the Spanish Inquisition on why we're going to this con every year.
That's your biggest fear. Mine involves a rubber glove and a cavity search. That's
yeah.
My
Well, I mean, that
fear.
would lead from that,
Yeah.
But I just can't believe we're even talking about this as a possibility, But tourism is down apparently already there.
Yeah.
People are traveling. Yeah. I already heard from here that Luxembourg's a rich, it's a tiny country, but it's rich. Like lots of people on the Easter break would go to America, to Disneyland, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Article in the paper yesterday, hardly the amount of people traveling to America has dropped off a cliff. Just crazy. Yeah. It's
might mean we get through customs quicker then.
That's true. There might should have held out longer for a cheaper flight.
Yeah.
Although I think they got it at the same price as last year, so I can't really complain.
At the moment, it's 60 quid more than last year for me. So I'm like, do I go cheap and try and hang on and try and wait a little bit, or do I just get one now? I'm also going to do a MAL this year, I think, as well, and stay over the night before in a hotel by Heathrow.
Oh, okay.
A bit less stressful in the day itself, isn't it? And if I do have lots of delays, then I'm still in at a decent time rather than getting into the hotel at 1 a.m. like last year.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
Well, the euro or the dollar pound is down a lot, so pound is up against the dollar.
Your dollars,
euro as well. Yeah, so get your dollars or book your stuff in dollars already. So pay for it in dollars already. So that's an interesting phenomenon.
And the hotel sold out already, didn't it?
Yes.
Which is quick. Insane. It's months last time, and it's gone in 4 days this year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there was a lot of people, we were the first year before we went, sitting at home looking at the pictures and the groups and maybe listening to shows like ours and going, okay, I'm not missing that. I really need to go next year. So, and especially if you're, if you can get there easily enough.
Oh, yeah. It's such a thing. I mean, I think the three of us have said a few times, haven't we? It's it's the experience of a lifetime in terms of toy collecting. You're never going to see anything else like this.
Yeah, so especially for the stuff that we're into,
Yeah. So just take the chance and go.
Yeah. If you're into Star Wars, go to Star Wars Celebration or one of those things. But yeah, for this kind of stuff, especially if you're into small independent artists, creators, plus a couple of cool, big things like Legion's being the biggest, but you've got stuff like Valiverse was there last year. These legendary guys, they'll have their figures, I'm sure, probably for sale this year.
Yep.
You had the AWOC, you had all the Goliath stuff, which seems to be growing year by year in terms of different people from the Legions community are getting into it more now. And there was always a cohort, but it seems to be even more mainstream now. So
if only Jeremy DeWitt had told us about it sooner. But no, we had to rely on Pete finding out about it.
Yeah, it just shows the power of marketing. With someone like Pete, he knows how to market stuff. Which is why I wonder why he's a fire captain when he's so good at marketing. Little elephant in the room here, the line at the two lines at the top of the poster. There was some discussion in the Cabal about this. I didn't look it up because I didn't want to steal anyone's takes for what I think it might be. But yeah, enter the crossroads, choose your path. So are we going to have all these mystery doors now in Legion's Con?
I'll be honest, I was really disappointed in Jeremy at this point. I thought me and Jeremy had agreed to keep this a secret for now. But what it is choose the path to riches, fine art prints, or don't. But he's spoiled it by putting it up already, so shame on you, Jeremy.
That's terrible. Can't believe you made the poster. That's good.
Yeah, I know. Going up in the world.
Next, he'll be on it as one of the what is it, the sixth horseman now, based Dave Pete's the fourth, the fifth horseman.
So, man, let's assume for like just a moment that Rich might be talking shite. What do you think it might be?
So the thing that came to mind for me immediately was, in terms of is the devil at the crossroads. And the story of, I've actually had to bring it up to remind me of the name, Robert Johnson, who made a deal with the devil at the crossroads to become a successful musician. So I was like, well, is it going to be something to do with Selene and Helios? And you choose the good or the bad and that sort of thing before we progress on to, the other, or as Rich has interestingly raised, how will they explain Selene and Helios moving forward with mythos?
It could certainly be pick a good option or an evil option, couldn't it?
I don't know. Yeah. I think the choose your crossroad, choose your path could be it's a poetic. I don't think they're necessarily going to make you choose a path, are they, in anything? So, that's what came to mind.
Like if it was like the armory this year, but maybe just one side of the armory is like, in your example, like good guys, and the other side is evil guys. Then you have to choose one side to go down, for example.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or the one thing I did see on the Cabal, and it makes sense, is one side of the armory is cosmic, one's mythic.
Right.
And choose which side to go down.
And then you choose, and then once you've chosen, you go back in and choose the other side. So you haven't really chosen; you've done both.
Yeah, there's not much of a choice, really, is there? It's like, which one are you going to do first? Yeah, you get there on your 11th turn. It's like, which one am I going to do 6 of? Which am I going to do 5 of?
Yeah, interesting. So, my other thought on this, it sounds a bit Dungeons and Dragon-y.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, we do have the tabletop game.
Yeah.
But maybe we have some sort of something related to that.
That's not a bad shout.
Maybe extra characters, or I don't know, beasts that you can play in the game with or something. That's my other thought on it. But I just I want to keep an open mind on it. Yeah, but I find it definitely exciting that they're already teasing.
The picture they've used, is that from something else?
That looks like
I couldn't remember or not.
It's not the graveyard skeletons, is it? It's the regular Legion Builder 2, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure that. You see, I think I've seen people sort of trying to scrutinise the image, and I'm not sure that's particularly relevant in that set. I think that's just a cool image that Trevor's taken to be the backing for these pictures, because there's two different ones we've seen so far, isn't there?
There is indeed. So, I think it's going to be fun to find out. I don't know when we'll find out. Probably much closer to the time, I guess. They don't want to put it out there too soon. That's for sure.
If they were really mean, it could be choose your path. Do you get in the main 4 horseman queue, or do you get in the armory queue? And there's a limited run of figures that may or may not be in the horseman queue, and a limited run of parts that may or may not in the armory. And you choose.
Do we want? Do we want anyone to turn up at our table at any point if they do this?
Yeah, no, it's a terrible idea for us. But the evil part of me would quite chuckle at that. People losing their minds.
And I know we got invited last year very kindly by Jeremy to intern. I assume that was the 10th anniversary thing. So are any of you going to apply this year?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to apply for it.
Definitely give it a go. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, last year I was like, I've been already once. Is it worth it? But I really enjoyed the whole day.
Yeah.
There was nothing that was repeated. Obviously Eric's session's brand new. I got to go with a different painter. Although Nate was doing the similar sort of stuff, it was very different. Trevor's setup was very different to how he had it the previous year, sort of thing. So there's always new stuff to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to apply or not. I think I'll just take the decision when that comes out. Probably not, though. I think I'll just leave it to fate.
So what if me or Mal get it and they say, well, the 3 of you can come? Would you be interested then? Or
Yeah, sure.
We'll be like, no, John didn't want to come.
It is like 300 quid for the con, And on one level, it might be nice to chill on Thursday and do something else, but it would also be shit to miss it. So
that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I'm flying in Wednesday. Mal, you might go a bit earlier, but John and you and I are going on Wednesday, aren't you? So if we don't get onto the intern thing, then it's just a day of chilling. Which, to be honest, is not a bad way to start.
We'll have
do something in the morning.
Podcast content.
Yeah, for the do something in the morning and then just start drinking about 2 in the afternoon with everybody that's there already, and just go for it.
Do like a 2-hour gym session in the morning, and then that will allow us to drink the whole day. Then
I had my family laughing. They put the hotel up, and I think was it. Who was it? Someone did a spoof thing saying, the pool there's really good. And obviously they don't have a pool. Yeah, Kent did, yeah. So I was like, that's fake, but I'm going to have to Google the hotel anyway. And it said a fitness center. I said, my wife was like, there's a gym there. I never knew that. And she's like, oh, really? Well, there's a shock.
Yeah, couldn't have told you. There is I think Toy Bro, maybe he goes to the gym, I think there.
Okay.
I remember seeing him post workout down in the lobby. I said, geez, I couldn't manage. Even if I was a fitness guy, I couldn't manage doing it on this weekend.
If I'm there Thursday with nothing to do, what I'm going to set up a little tea booth in the lobby, trying to convert the Americans to proper hot tea rather than the sweet cold stuff that they seem to drink.
You'll have to ask the hotel there. You're kind of,
Obviously, yes, yeah. There's not. I'm just going to rock up and just start making a business in there.
But you could, they don't do room sales at Legion's Con, like they do at other cons, maybe. But it'll be just Rich's tea room.
Have a tea room.
It will be given away free, just to clarify. I'm not going to charge any money for any of this. It's like,
yeah, if you're converting
First
people, you're not
free.
going to be able to sell it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's Legion's Con. More to come on that. We'll obviously do a little bit of episodes running up to it, like we always do. Upcoming events then was the last thing I had, and that's that maybe gives us some indication of what's going on. IshCon I saw this year is in mid-May. Last year it was start of August 3rd or something. That's when they did the cosmic reveal. So I guess there won't be a cosmic reveal this year at IshCon.
Oh yeah. Maybe
it seems
not.
a bit too early, doesn't it? Because I think they were talking about making sure that they have the first Ox crew wave in hand before they do another big cosmic thing.
Yeah. So the next one is Shop the Curiosity. Oh no, sorry, I have these backwards. How did I do that? Okay, the next one's ToyCon New Jersey. So that's the weekend after Easter. Chicago Toy Show is also that weekend, and that'll be My Wife's Gonna Kill Me with, I think, a couple of people from the studio. I think Cornboy is going to that with Travis, so it'll be fun. Lee Valley Toy Show, Easton, Pennsylvania, so that's quite close to them. So I'm sure there'll be a good presence there from the Horsemen. The West Coast Mythic Meetup, 3rd of May in California. I saw Curtis posted he's going to that. So Curtis is making the trip out west. He put up a PSA for people that if they were going now to know that he's going so they can cancel. That's actually what he said. I'm not just slagging him off. So,
whereabouts in California is it?
Citrus
Heights.
Heights. I have no idea what that is. I was thinking if it was LA way sort of thing, then there's that, is it Frank and Sons, that massive toy warehouse thing?
7,700 Sunrise Boulevard. I mean, I saw a street there last week where there was a house up to number 70, and I nearly crashed the car because I've never seen that before around here. So 7,700 on one street. Unbelievable. Unless they start at like 7,000. Even then.
Imagine if you're looking for somewhere and you get on there and it's number 1 and you got to get 7. You're like, oh, God.
Yeah. Where's the airport?
Yeah.
My goodness. And then
if you hit 200 in the UK, it would be an exceptionally long road.
So indeed. Shop the Curiosity, May 10th. So that's in Connecticut. I think that's close to Germany. Would that be right?
Yeah, Connecticut's next over from Rhode Island, I think.
So there's always some IshCon we talked about. So I'm sure there'll be something to do with IshCon and the Horsemen, a panel like they did probably before. Maybe some figure reveals. I'm not sure now, but maybe. Or figure obscura, maybe, something like that. Maryland Toy Expo in, guess where? Maryland.
Again, that's really close for the Horsemen too. That's the next state down. So
June 14th, and then Joe Fest, June 22nd in Augusta, in Georgia, which just had probably the best golf tournament I've ever watched on television last weekend. So that has a little soft spot in my heart, Augusta, Georgia. I get there one year for that, I'm sure. When I can't afford to go to Legion's Con, I'll have to go to the Masters instead.
That's when you can go crazy, John. You do the Masters and then Legion's Con and the Mythic meetup on the West Coast, and just like, this year I'm just going to travel to every Mythic and golf tournament I can.
To get tickets for it, and if you do, then you're probably paying an agent like thousands just for a day.
Of course, yeah.
But I think it's probably worth it once in your life.
Have you ever seen a professional tournament live?
Oh yeah. I went to a good few as younger, but the last one I went to was in 2016, Irish Open, Rory McIlroy. I wanted to see him properly in the flesh, so followed him around.
Yeah, I did the Welsh Open as well. Welsh Open many years ago. That was a good fun day out. Yeah. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's I'm not bad at golf, but when you see these guys up close, you're like, whoa.
For anyone that doesn't know, John plays off 1 handicap. When he says he's not bad, he's an effing liar. That's extremely good.
It's going up now. I'll be closer to 3 soon. And that'll be probably more manageable. I'm going tomorrow to play in the Peeing of Rain in the tournament. Oh, I didn't cancel. But c'est la vie. And I'm starting to get sick, so that's just the perfect combination.
Oh, there we go. Lovely.
So that's the crack. Next week, I think we'll talk about those bios from the two new. We talk about the figures as well, but the two new factions. I saw that Arazak has moved over from Poxus to one of those factions. So interesting thing to talk about. Have a look at it.
Yeah.
I'll send you through the.
Yeah, he's one of the same one as Rhaegor. Not
sect
sect of
I need to get that pronunciation right for next week.
Yeah.
Should be probably right for this week, but that's it. So that's the crack, lads. Nothing else for me. No, what's happening this weekend?
No, I sent you guys a picture, didn't I, earlier that I've slipped into Vampires in Other Lines too now. So I got the Vampire Joker from McFarlane, which is really good. So there's only about half a dozen figures. So I'll probably pick up the rest of those.
And there's a cool G.I. Joe drop recently.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Very cool.
Yeah. Monkey Wrench. One of the best dreadnoughts. So that was that was awesome to have him.
And I had to get that Cobra Commander with the kind of silly armor because of the lizard.
See, that's not my Cobra Commander, so I just steer clear of him.
But it's got a little lizard.
Yeah, it comes with an iguana that's meant to be Serpentor or something like that, apparently, or some of the blood, the DNA that's used in Serpentor or something like that. But I had him as a kid. That not the iguana, the Cobra Commander in the armor, and I always wanted the proper Cobra Commander. It was actually here you go. Here's a story of my youth and disappointment. So I got that metallic armored Cobra Commander in the shops. I bought him in the shops, and then there was a mail away for the hooded version of Cobra Commander. So I did the mail away, saved. I can't remember what it was. It must have been tokens or something like that. Saved the mail away. Guess what turned up? Another one of the armored Cobra Commander with a little note going, "Oh, we're so sorry. All of the hooded Cobra Commanders have gone, but we hope you'll really like this." And he's like, "You are shitting me."
At least you brushed it off, Mal, and didn't give it a second thought and haven't held a grudge for donkey's years.
It's not hurt me or plagued me since my youth.
No, obviously, no, that's fine.
There you go, people.
No, you can't get hooded Cobra Commander.
All these people who bitch and moan about the dragons and expenses and whatever, they didn't suffer any real harsh pain with around toys in their youth, clearly.
I still have flashbacks to being in a Woolworths. So for the UK listeners, that's a bit of everything stores. There's all music, listeners. Yeah, or anyone not in the UK really. It's there was like music, toys, everyday household stuff, bit of everything. And they had a big like box sort of stand thing, just absolutely packed with Star Wars figures for 99p each, just to get rid of them because they couldn't sell them. And I remember being stood there, and they had a power droid, which I didn't buy. And it was like, as far as I was aware at that point, it was the only one I was missing. It turns out I was missing another character I didn't know about. But I still have flashbacks to that. It's like, oh my God, all on card. It's like, there's so much money sat in that bin, and I just didn't.
Oh, nightmare. And what's the plans for Easter then? You got people over, or?
Yeah, my brother, sister-in-law, and nephews are coming down on Easter Sunday. So on the day itself. So although the kids are 12, 13 and 16, they will still happily partake in an Easter egg hunt around the garden because it's free chocolate. So they'll be all over that. So that'll be good to see
mine
them.
asked me, are we doing, I just hadn't thought about it. I thought, well, they're probably too old for it now. And they were like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's what mine's like. She's 12, but she's like, if there's chocolate, I'm all over it. I'll believe in Easter bunnies, whatever you like. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm cooking, I was told, so we'll have to see what happens.
Okay. I'd be drinking. And if my very large beer order from the other day arrives, I'll be drinking lots of sour beers.
Yeah. I still can't drink for another few weeks, so.
Oh, sorry, John. Let's just forget I mentioned that then.
I put out the recycling collections every 2 weeks. Actually, rounding this episode off with garbage again. And I was very, very surprised how little bottles there was. Because I was like, oh God, this thing is nearly this little small basket. This is full of bottles normally. And there's a couple of, like, there's an olive oil bottle and maybe one bottle of wine that my wife might have had with a friend.
This part of the show is the deep cut for the people that hang on to the very bitter end.
Yeah, so, let's let them go.
Yeah.
We
had neighbours a couple of houses down that used to have they had 2 recycling boxes rather than 1 full of cider cans. Every week, it's like, oh my God, there's a drink problem there because that's a lot of cans in those 2 boxes.
Well, like here, it's a little bit old school here. Sometimes, like there is companies that deliver drinks to your house, like anything. You can get like cola, whatever, in crates, in recyclable bottles, and then you just leave the crate out, and then the next time they come, they take the crate with the bottles, and you get the money credited back. But yeah, so people do that. It's very handy, and like you can get bottles of beer or whatever. But you do sometimes see people, and you're like, I hope they're having a party, because otherwise that's a lot of beer. Yeah, love it. And you, Mal, you heading to your folks?
No. I'll as I say, going to watch WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday night, so it'll be a lot of sleeping during the day. Well,
who's the main match, Mal?
I don't know which night is which, but the title match is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Probably have The Rock in his corner, and the match I'm really. I
didn't realize these guys were still wrestling. I thought they had moved on to movies.
The match I'm really looking forward to is.
Is it on Netflix?
Yes, it's on Netflix, which is great. I've got I'm 2 episodes behind. I need to watch yesterday's Raw, but last week's SmackDown as well. But yeah.
And who's the other one, Mal? So it's Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Cena. Then the other one is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, which should be an excellent match. At least story-wise, should be an excellent match. Yeah. Should be fun. It's good. I'm really actually... it's the first time in a few years I've been really excited about WrestleMania and wrestling. They're doing a really good job with it at the moment. Yeah.
Absolutely,
really fun at the moment.
It's a huge fan base. So,
you're not alone. Some of the people we know in the community are fans. I believe the House Eels are fans, and yeah.
Can I take this opportunity to put out a public service announcement to our listeners? If you're tempted to go and watch A Working Man, the latest Jason Statham film in the cinema or the theatre in America, don't. It is a pile of absolute shite. I love Jason Statham films, no matter how bad they are. This plumbed new depths I didn't think were possible. It was dreadful. So stay away from that.
He was plunging with the plunger.
Do you know what I mean? I was sat there laughing in my head for the last half an hour, like going, "This is just stupid. This is so bad. I just can't concentrate even on the film. It's terrible."
Love it. I love it. I'm sorry that you had to do that, but
it's all right. I mean, the cinema is always a getaway for me. It's always a switch your brain off sort of thing. But it's hard work when you only go to see one film, because quite often I'll go and see 2. So to see one and then it's dreadful. At least if you go and see 2 and one's dreadful, the other one normally isn't. Yeah. So there's a bit of a comeback sort of thing, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're finally catching up at Reacher.
I love Series 3.
So
back
good.
on form, Series 3.
Series 3
really
is so good. I was
really good.
Series 2 was a bit underwhelming compared to Series 1. Series 3 is... But, it was
fine, wasn't it? Yeah,
it wasn't as engaging. This is I'm at no point even picking up my phone watching it. That's my gauge of
it's awesome.
How good it is. Yeah. So, no spoilers. Just enjoy.
Yeah.
So that's the crack anyway. We should probably finish this up. Huh? Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. We'll be back.
Okay, so in that case, stay safe out there, everybody. If you see an enraged Jason Statham because he didn't like my review of the film, stay away from him. Stay safe.